Hi guys, it's Nick or Tokin.lucario, and I'm here today with a few parcels to open. We've got two submissions from PSA, a big box and a small box, and one purchase that I've made recently, a couple graded cards that'll be super exciting to show you. So stick around to the end of the video for those, and I'll get these unboxed and we'll start having a look. Alright, well, I've opened up all the boxes. I didn't want to show me opening them on camera because they got my name and address plastered all over them, which I know there's only a few of you to watch these videos, but there's no need to dox myself really. But without further ado, we've got this massive stack of cards. I think it's 30 cards in total, but I might be wrong. It's been a little while since I submitted them. But let's just get showing. I'll talk about the things that we get as we go. So first card, we got a regular EV card from EX Unseen Forces. Got a couple of these in a lot I picked up a while back, and they're in pretty good condition, so I thought I'd have a go at grading them. This one's managed to come back an 8. I can't say I'm too disappointed with that, to be honest, but you know, we always want a bit better. Onto the second card. Got another EV. We've got an EV on the ball, and this one's in a Gem Mint 10. I managed to get all these promos myself. We're going into game when they were released here in the UK. Super happy about this. I've already got a couple of the on the ball promos, like the Pikachu here in a 10, so that'll be going into my collection, which means I have a feeling this will also be an on the ball, but this one came back in a 9, so this one will be going up for sale. I don't need multiple of the same card regardless, but also this one only managed to hit the 9, so that'll be going back up for sale, and hopefully just at least recover the cost of grading. So that'd be nice. And this next card I can see is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, which means I have a feeling that this is a card that isn't personally mine. Yeah, I'm right. So I was with my cousin, and he managed to pack from the new Legend of Blue Eyes reprint, the Blue Eyes in his first pack. Very typical, but I graded it for him thinking it was pretty much a 10 potential. Managed to get a 9. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with this one. I looked over the scans and stuff. Typical. Bit of dust encapsulated inside of it. Good job, PSA. But other than the dust, the card seems pretty mint to me. It does annoy me that PSA doesn't give you a grading report, but you know, we move. Next card, War. So I packed this Lily just after I started collecting again, and before it was a particularly expensive card. I noticed the prices of these have come down a lot since just between me sending it off to be graded, to be fair. Grading's been away for about 2 months, and I think the price is more or less half for these cards. I think it's still about 120, 150. I wasn't hopeful that this would get a 10 because it's quite off-centered, but you know, sometimes they manage to sneak through, and I purely graded this to resale and hopefully cover some of the costs of my submission. But very beautiful, very nice card anyway. And what is this one going to be? Ooh, nice. Our first big hitter. Our second 10, but our first big hitter. We managed to get the Giratina V-Star in a 10 from Crown Zenith. I believe my missus packed this one. Very excited to show her momentarily. These cards have just been sat on the side at home for a few days. I've been itching to open them, but I haven't had a good time to record them, and I didn't want to waste the moment. So, I wonder what this one's going to be. Yes, I was very excited about this one. I wasn't actually hopeful for a 10 because I'm trying to see if I can see it now. I believe there to be a small ding on the bottom of this card. Not that it's noticeable from the back, but just almost like a slight raise in the textured part of the card. So like I say, I wasn't hopeful for this to get a 10, but my god am I glad it did. What a beautiful card. Now I've got to get the Charizards to go along with it. Next card, we managed to get... see this one, I can't lie, I'm a little disappointed in. I was really hoping for the 10. I've got the Leafeon V-Star. I believe I showed it to you in video before. And I was really hoping that the the Glaceon that I packed would manage to match the 10, I could have them side by side, a nice addition to the collection. But it means this one will probably get sold on, and I'll probably pick up another one that I think is mint enough to try and hit that 10 mark. I'm definitely not against lower rated cards. I can 100% recommend them, specifically if there's something that you want to actually collect and own, sort of like this Chansey EX, which is an 8. But it's such a beautiful card and it's sentimental to me that I'll be keeping it probably forever. But, you know, for example, if you wanted something like this Lucario V-Star, which might not be a notable card to most people, I definitely would recommend picking up in a 10, just so that it holds more of its value. Next card up, we've got, yes, Inteleon VMAX from Fusion Strike. That's Secret Alt Art. Managed to get a 10 on this bad boy. Absolutely love this card. I think it's a massively underrated card from the series, to be honest. I think a lot of people don't like Inteleon that much, but I love the bad boy. He's a cute little guy, you know. But definitely a great card to pick up. Very happy with that. Next up, we've got Samurott V. See, again, I have to admit, fairly disappointed with this. I really hoped it would get a 10, although now I'm looking at it, maybe the centering's quite far off, to be fair. So maybe I can't blame you on that one after all, PSA. Still, absolutely gorgeous card, and I would definitely will be buying this in a 10. Because, I mean, just look at it. I might even pick it up in Japanese, to be honest, because the art just makes me think of Japan so much more than the English. What do you reckon for this one, guys? Good grade, low grade? Don't know, let's find out. Nice. So I'm definitely a gem mint collector. I generally like 10s. And I'll be honest, I just graded this because I really thought it would 10. I have no particular attachment to the card, although I think it is a very cool art. Kind of reminds me of the Goldengo that's just been released with all the gold piled up around. But not massively my type of card. This one will probably be going up for sale. Next up, guys. A little bit of shake in that one. That's disappointing. PSA can be a little lackluster with their holdering sometimes, but let's see what it is. Ah, beautiful. I managed to grade this tag team promo. I have to admit, I'm very happy with a 10. I was worried about it. These cards, sometimes a bit awkward to grade, especially with the price of them going up recently. I always feel like the more expensive a card is, the less likely you are to get a 10, even with it being in mint condition, because, I mean, you know, they want to protect their pop report or whatever. But beautiful edition. Again, what are you thinking for this one? 92. 9s or 10s? 10s, yes. Awesome. I actually picked this up 2 grade. It's one of my favourite cards in the entirety of Sword and Shield. I collect the gold cards, even though a lot of people don't like them. I think they're super underrated. I hope that one day they'll get the attention they deserve, but this Snorlax is probably the best one. And I'm very happy with this getting a 10. So, because I paid quite a hefty price on it. Definitely more than I would generally be willing to pay, but I could manage to get this in real life from a local card store, Math Miniatures, I've mentioned before, and I could actually see the condition of it and hope it was a 10, so very excited about that. Next up, fellas, 91, what do we reckon it's going to be? Gardevoir EX in a 9. That's disappointing. I've seen some people chasing for this card in a 10 recently, and if I'm being honest, I just graded it for that purpose. I thought it had 10 potential, and like I say, there's a few pages and stuff that I follow that have been hunting for a 10 of these. I thought, you know, be a good member of the community if I could grade this in a 10, that I could hit them up and ask if they wanted it, but not this time. Sorry, guys. So, our first Japanese card. If I remember rightly, I think I only graded maybe 2 Japanese cards. So I should remember what this is, but I do not. Let's just let's hit it, shall we? Oh, I do remember what this is. Yes. So I packed this Dragonite GX just after we got into collecting. I realised that Japanese boxes were much cheaper, or at least they were at the time. I think I bought the box that this came from for like £35. You can't get Japanese at that price anymore. But I have to admit, I was super disappointed with this getting a 9. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to have a closer study later on. Might even be a crack and regrade situation. Sometimes it can be a little harsh, especially on Japanese, because the print quality is so good. But I mean, I don't personally see any issues with this. I'll have to go over it with my little magnifying loupe later on and try and find what their problem is. If not, I'll probably be regrading this one. I can't lie. But still very cool. Next up, we got, again, disappointed with this one being a 9. It's not a particularly valuable card or anything, but if you couldn't tell from me being so gassed about the Snorlax Gold Secret, I really like Snorlax, and I know a lot of people collect these prize pack cards, and there's not exactly a huge grading population for any of the grades, to be honest, or many of the cards. But I thought that if this could contend, some Snorlax collector out there somewhere would love to have this in their collection. As a 9, I think I'll probably just keep it in mind because it's a super cute card. It looks all cuddly and sleepy there, as Snorlax usually does. And yeah, I think this one will just be added into my personal collection, to be honest. But gorgeous. So at the bottom, I realised that I've got one more Yu-Gi-Oh card that I sent off for myself, not for family. I do play a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh alongside Pokemon. But I tried grading one of these Blue Eyes White Dragons from the 25th collection boxes, and I actually don't know what this code is. It says error, but I'll have to look into that. It's the 25th anniversary collection cards. They released a tin with the blue eyes and red eyes and the Egyptian gods, all in this 25th quarter century rare. And I really like Blue Eyes. I think I want a Gem Mint copy of a Blue Eyes. I'm not particularly fussed on which. So I was going for that for myself, but we haven't managed to hit it. Little disappointing. I would have thought it would at least be a 9. I mean, it is pack fresh. I don't really, again, know of any issues. I go over all my cards with magnifying loupe before I send them off to look for any imperfections. Clearly, I'm not as good as a PSA grader. At least not yet. Heading back into Pokemon. Graded a second one of these. This one came out even worse. The last one hit an 8, this one a 7. I can't say that I'm too disappointed. I knew these weren't going to grade fantastically, but again, I had hope for better. I was thinking both of them would be sort of the 8 and 9 written. I was saying that. Big ding on that corner there that I didn't notice before. Well, either didn't notice before or somehow been damaged in transit or at PSA. No accusations, just you know, multiple variables that could have been damaged at any time, but that is disappointing. We've got 5 cards left here, so hopefully they can all be pretty good hits. Let's get ready. Another Eevee on the ball, again in a 9. That's a bit sad. So this one will be going up for sale as well. I just don't need multiple of the same card, but you can gloss over that because we've already seen it. Second to last Japanese card. Ooh. Poorly holded. I saw that one move as soon as I picked it up. Honestly, I've used PSA a few times now, and in general their service is really good, but definitely disagree with more than a few of the grades I've been given, and sometimes they really badly holster these cards. But let's see what it is. Yeah. I don't know, I'm not too disappointed with that. It's from the 20th anniversary reprint, or CP06, I believe, in Japanese, but no, sorry, CP6, 06. I'm not disappointed with this. The 9 is it's fine. Again, I'd hope for a 10. I picked this up 2 grade about a year and a half ago. Finally got around to sending it off. It's got this beautiful swirl. I don't know if I can show it on the camera a bit better. Yeah, beautiful swirl just there. And like I say, I just hoped for a 10. Not too disappointed, but I'd hoped for better. Hopefully we can get some proper heat for these last few. What is this one going to be? That's disappointing too. You got one of the reverse hollow Clefairies from Fire Red Leaf Green. Actually, is this reverse foil? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's got the interesting hollow pattern with the energies and stuff. That's what they featured on a lot of these older or mid-age reverse hollows. I just panicked and thought it wasn't for a second there because just after these, a lot of the EX series reverse hollows actually have the stamp across the bottom of the right, like you see in a pre-release card, but not on this one. And this one came back an 8, which is, again, more than a tad disappointing. I definitely thought this would have done better than that. I try not to grade anything if I don't think it will at least 9, with the exception of a few things, a couple sentimental cards and stuff. Bit disappointed on that one, but we move. Speaking of sentimental cards, I know what these last 2 cards are, thinking about everything that we've gone through and what I haven't seen. I don't know which order they're in, so we'll pop one up first and have a check. But yeah, it's my worst graded card for sure. It's a 5. I didn't really expect this to do that well, but I got this card for a steal. Or my missus actually got it for a steal. She is a Mewtwo collector. She saw this up for about a £7 buy now. A few years ago, right in the middle of the peak. I think these were selling raw, even destroyed, for about £50 at the time. I have no idea on the price of them now. This is for PC regardless of grade, to be fair. But my god, what a beautiful copy from the front. I can see there's very little scratching or anything on the surface foil, but yeah, that is a destroyed card on the back. 5, I definitely can disagree with. I think when I went through all these cards beforehand, I thought this could have been a 6 or a 7 tops, but a 5 I won't argue with either. So fair play to PSA, but again, what a gorgeous card, and this one's going to be for the personal collection. Just really happy to have it and have it all safely encapsulated, so hopefully it shouldn't get damaged any further. And the final card, I know I'm really excited about this. Base set Venusaur, that's right, we graded a little bit of vintage. It's not the most amazing grade in a 6. It's got a fair bit of whitening around the bottom. I didn't expect this to 9, 10 really, but I'd hoped for a 7 or an 8 really. The hollow is in pretty good condition. There are a few scratches on it and stuff, so I wasn't expecting it to be amazing. Surface issues and all, I know they bring down a card quite heavily sometimes. I think I'd hoped for a 7 really, and I'm not too disappointed with a 6. It definitely is in better condition than that Mew that we just looked at, so I'm happy it didn't 5, but I like it. But Venusaur is one of my favourite Pokemon. I probably overrate it to Charizard, to be honest. I know you wouldn't think it with the Charizards in the background. But this is probably one of my most memorable favourite cards. And what I actually want to collect, ideally, is the Legendary Collection Reverse Hollow of Venusaur. I had a chance to pick one up a couple of years back, and oh boy do I regret it, because I had a chance to pick up for about £1,000, and I was debating taking out some investments that I'd made in other things to pay for it, and they were up, and I decided against it. And then the card that I'm speaking of is now worth about £2,000, and my investments tanked shortly afterwards. So, but this will keep me going for the meantime. Very excited to have it back. I think I paid about £80 for the copy that I graded, so I don't know vintage prices too well off the top of my head, but I think this is about about right value. You know, I think I paid about £80, graded it. I think this would probably be worth about £80 still. Although I think that would be the high end of what you could ask for. But again, this one's for personal collection, so I'm not particularly disappointed. Right, I'll get out my other cards and show you. But I think now is a good time to say, if you've been enjoying the video so far, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps out a lot. I'd be happy to share my collection with you another time. But for the meantime, I've picked up a couple cards. You can all see already that this is a Beckett slab. I actually have never owned any Beckett slabs before, but the prices on these cards were too good to pass up, and I have a feeling they'd be worth more if they were just graded with PSA anyway. So I'm not too disappointed with having a Beckett slab. I mean, I get to feel how good it is. It feels very rigid, very thick compared to the PSA slab. But let's show you this bad boy. It is the Folklore Lucario EX. It's got this little aura beam. I've always known it as Aura Lucario, but shows that I've been calling it the wrong thing the entire time. But I've been hunting for one of these for quite a long time. Any that you find are either destroyed or stupidly expensive. I did notice after I purchased this, I had a look around again, and prices have come down a lot on them. You can sort of get 9s in PSA for about £180, but I can say that I paid nowhere near that price for this. I think I got this for a steal off of a fellow collector on Instagram. I'm very happy with it, absolutely ecstatic with it, to be honest. And the subgrades on it, because BGS actually tell you the subgrades, actually recognise that this card is pretty close to being at least a 9.5 or a 10 by their scale. So I'm actually thinking that if I get a bit bored, I might crack this and try to submit it with PSA and maybe get a 10. But I'll definitely be subject to looking over the card with no micro loop and really checking out its quality before I would commit to doing anything like that. Rather not break the slabs if I have no need. So that's one. Let's put that at the back there for a second. And I think you guys will be more excited about this one, although obviously being called Tokin.lucario, I'm more excited about that. And yeah, geez, these slabs do feel very thick, very thick. They're a bit wider than the PSA slab, and obviously much shorter. But they feel like high quality, which I shouldn't be surprised from. They are, second most reputable company out there, and that's right, guys. We got a Mew EX, the Japanese version from the gift box. But what an incredible card! I would love to have one of these in English, but they are very expensive, like almost obscenely expensive. So the Japanese copy will have to do me for now. It's going to be in my personal collection for quite a while. I think these are going again for probably about another third of what I paid for it. And they're going for about 150 to 200-ish in a 9. And if it wasn't for that centering grade, I would definitely consider resubmitting this with PSA as well. But I have a feeling if I cracked it and graded it, it would still come back a 9 on that centering. The 8.5 is quite low, although you can see the corners and the surface got a 10 and a 9.5 with the edges. Just an incredible card, incredible bit of artwork. I'm really happy to have this with me again. So those two will be going into my personal collection. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them in the background here in some future videos. But that's all I've got for you today, guys. I'm really happy to share all of this stuff with you. Really excited to show you my new personal editions, tell you a bit about what I'll be selling, tell you a bit about how I feel about PSA as a whole, which is, to be honest, they're a great company. They've always done fairly well by me. And yeah, all I can say now is that I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.